Hello and welcome to Traveling Around the World, the podcast where we explore the most breathtaking destinations on the planet through the stories of those who have been there. I'm your host, Samantha, and today we are embarking on a journey to a place shrouded in mystery and perched among the clouds. I'm joined by my good friend and seasoned traveler, Noah, who has just returned from an unforgettable trip to the lost city of the Incas, Machu Picchu. Noah, it's so great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Samantha. I'm still processing it all, to be honest. It's one of those places that sticks with you long after you've left.
I can only imagine. So many people dream of going there. Tell us, what was the catalyst? What made you finally decide that now was the time to see Machu Picchu?
You know, it's a place that's been on my mind since I was a kid. I remember seeing a documentary about it, showing these incredible stone structures emerging from the mist. It just seemed impossible, almost alien.
Like something from another world.
Exactly. The fascination never really went away, and recently I was looking for a trip that offered more than just relaxation. I wanted a challenge, a sense of adventure, and a deep dive into a different culture and history. Machu Picchu felt like the perfect convergence of all those things.
It certainly sounds like it. So once the decision was made, what did the planning process entail? It seems like a trip that would have a lot of moving parts.
It does, but it's manageable if you break it down. The absolute first thing, and I can't stress this enough, is to book your entrance ticket to the site itself. They've become very strict with conservation, so the number of daily visitors is limited, and tickets sell out months in advance.
Right, and there are different types of tickets, aren't there?
Yes, there are. You can get a general admission ticket for the main citadel, but if you want to do one of the iconic hikes, like up Huayna Picchu or Montaña Machu Picchu for those postcard views, you need a specific combo ticket, and those sell out even faster.
So, planning ahead is crucial. What about the physical preparation? The altitude is famously no joke.
It really isn't. The best strategy is acclimatization. My entire itinerary was built around it. I decided to fly into Cusco, which sits at over 11,000 feet, and just stay there for 3 full days before even thinking about heading towards Machu Picchu.
3 days just to adjust. That's a significant amount of time. What was your experience in Cusco like?
Cusco is an incredible destination in its own right. It was the historic capital of the Inca Empire, and you feel that history everywhere. The city is this amazing fusion of Incan and Spanish colonial architecture. You'll be walking down a narrow cobblestone street and see these massive, perfectly interlocking Inca stones forming the foundation of a 16th century Spanish convent.
Wow, a literal clash of civilizations.
Completely. And I just took it very easy. The first day, I did almost nothing but walk slowly around the Plaza de Armas, the main square, and drink a lot of water and coca tea. The locals swear by it for the altitude, and it genuinely seemed to help.
And did you explore outside the city at all during those days?
I did. On the third day, once I was feeling more adjusted, I took a short trip up to the ruins of Sacsayhuaman, which overlooks the city. The scale of the stonework there is even more massive than at Machu Picchu. Some of the stones are estimated to weigh over 100 tons. It just deepens the mystery of how they built these things.
It's hard to even comprehend that. So, after 3 days in Cusco, you're feeling good, you're acclimatized, but before we move on to the next leg of the journey, I have to ask about the food. Beyond the history, Cusco's also famous for its food scene. Did you get to dive into Peruvian cuisine?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. The food was a revelation, honestly. It deserves its own chapter. Peruvian cuisine is this incredible tapestry of indigenous ingredients and international influences. I had some of the best ceviche of my life in Cusco. Impossibly fresh fish cured in lime juice with chili and red onion. It just zings with flavor. And you can't go to Peru without having lomo saltado. It's a stir-fry with strips of beef, onions, tomatoes, and soy sauce, served with both French fries and rice. It sounds like an odd combination, but it's pure comfort food and a perfect example of the Asian influence on their cooking. The next step is getting to Aguascalientes, the town at the foot of Machu Picchu. You can do multi-day treks like the Inca Trail, but I took the train through the Sacred Valley, And Samantha, this train ride is an experience in itself.
I've seen pictures with the glass ceilings. It looks incredible.
It's even better in person. The train snakes alongside the roaring Urubamba River through this valley that was the heartland of the Inca Empire. You're surrounded by these towering, snow-capped Andean peaks.
That sounds amazing.
And as the journey progresses, you descend in altitude and the landscape transforms. It goes from the drier, high-altitude terrain into a lush, vibrant cloud forest. Waterfalls cascade down the mountainsides, and the vegetation becomes thick and tropical. It feels like you're entering a lost world.
A fitting prelude to seeing a lost city. So, you arrive in Aguas Calientes. What's the vibe there?
It's a bustling little tourist town, completely dedicated to Machu Picchu. It's nestled in this deep gorge surrounded by towering green cliffs. There's a constant sense of excitement in the air. You know you're on the doorstep of something extraordinary.
Okay, so take us to the morning of the big day. What was the plan?
The plan was to see the sunrise over the ruins. That meant a very, very early start. I was up at 4 a.m., had a quick breakfast, and got in line for the bus. The buses start running at 5:30, and it's a winding, 25-minute journey up a series of steep switchbacks.
The anticipation must have been killing you.
It was immense. You're in the dark, climbing higher and higher, and you can just feel the energy from everyone on the bus. When you finally get to the top and go through the entrance gate, you still can't see it immediately. You have to walk up a final flight of stone steps. And then you reach the top of that path, and the entire vista opens up before you. And there it is, the lost city. It was shrouded in this thick, swirling mist, and as the sun began to rise, the golden light would pierce through the clouds, illuminating one section of the ruins, then another. It was just magical. I've never seen anything like it.
I'm actually getting goosebumps. It sounds like a moment you'll never forget.
Never. It stops you in your tracks. All the planning, the travel, the early morning, it all melts away, and you're just confronted with this impossible, beautiful sight. It's profoundly peaceful.
So, once you picked your jaw off the floor, how did you even begin to explore a place like that?
I started with a 2-hour guided tour, which I can't recommend enough. A good guide doesn't just show you buildings, they tell you the story. He explained the astronomical alignments of the temples, like the Temple of the Sun, which has a window that perfectly captures the light of the winter solstice.
That's incredible.
He showed us the royal sector, the quarries where they cut the stone, and the intricate water systems of fountains that still work today. It gives you such a deeper appreciation for the genius of the Inca civilization.
What was one story or detail that really stuck with you?
He pointed out the 3 sacred animals of the Incas, represented everywhere in the stonework. The condor representing the heavens, the puma for the earth, and the snake for the underworld. The entire city is laid out in the shape of a condor when viewed from above, from the top of Machu Picchu. It shows how deeply their cosmology was integrated into their architecture.
That is fascinating. And after the tour?
After the tour, I had my ticket to climb Machu Picchu. This is the steep, iconic peak that stands behind the city in all the photos. And let me tell you, that climb is not for the faint of heart.
I've heard it's pretty intense. They call part of it the Stairs of Death, right?
They do, and while it's not as dangerous as it sounds, it is incredibly steep. You're basically climbing a giant stone staircase, using your hands and feet with a sheer drop on one side. But the climb is part of the experience. You feel this connection to the people who built and walked these paths centuries ago.
And the payoff at the top must be worth it.
Oh, absolutely. The view is indescribable. You see the entire citadel spread out below you, perfectly framed by the mountains and the river snaking through the valley. You can see the condor shape he was talking about. It's the view you see in magazines, but 1,000 times more real and powerful. You feel like you're on top of the world.
I can only imagine. It sounds like a spiritual experience almost. Beyond that iconic view, were there other parts of the citadel that left a strong impression?
I did. I spent the whole afternoon just wandering aimlessly. That's when the real magic sinks in. The larger tour groups start to leave, and you can find these quiet, secluded spots on the agricultural terraces.
Right, just to sit and reflect.
Exactly.
I just sat there for over an hour, watching the clouds drift by, listening to the silence, and of course, I made friends with the resident llamas and alpacas who roam freely around the site, acting like they own the place.
You have to get the llama selfie. It's a rite of passage.
It is. They're surprisingly calm and photogenic. It adds this lovely, slightly surreal touch to the whole experience.
It's clear the trip had a profound effect on you. Looking back on it all, what's the biggest thing you've taken away from the experience?
I think it's a deep sense of awe. Awe for the ingenuity of the Inca people, but also for the power of nature. The way the city is so perfectly integrated into its dramatic landscape is breathtaking. It's a reminder of what humans can achieve when they work in harmony with their environment, rather than against it.
That's a beautiful takeaway. A very relevant one for our times, too.
Definitely. It's a very humbling and centering experience. It puts your own life and problems into a much grander perspective.
So, for our listeners who are now itching to book their own trip to Peru, what would be your top 3 essential tips for visiting Machu Picchu?
Okay, top 3. First, book everything. Your entrance ticket, your train, your Machu Picchu permit as far in advance as you possibly can. Second, respect the altitude. Don't be a hero. Take the time to acclimatize properly in Cusco or the Sacred Valley. It will make or break your trip.
Solid advice.
And third, once you are there, give yourself the gift of time. Don't just rush in for a few photos and leave. Stay for the whole day. See it in the morning mist, in the golden afternoon light. Find a quiet corner. Put your camera down and just be present. That's where you'll find the real magic of Machu Picchu.
Wonderful advice. Noah, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your journey with us and for painting such a vivid, inspiring picture of this incredible place.
It was my absolute pleasure, Samantha. It's a joy to talk about it. If I've convinced even one person to go and experience it for themselves, then my job is done.
I have a feeling you've convinced more than just one. That's all the time we have for today on Traveling Around the World. A huge thank you again to our guest, Noah. Join us next time as we venture to another incredible corner of our planet. Until then, happy travels.